All right, guys, we're back with round one, Edison format, epic cards and games in Hurst, Texas, between Stephen on the left playing Instant Fusion, Synchro Cat Zombies versus Victor playing a Machina hero deck. That's what I'm going to call it. So Victor's playing like Submarine Roid, and he's playing Prisma. He reveals the Terra Firma Elemental Hero Fusion, which I didn't even know that card existed. You can send Ocean or Woodsman with it, so it's actually a pretty good idea. I might try that out myself. He's also playing Machina, obviously Gear Frame, Fortress. And that's why he plays the Submarine Roid, because the Submarine Roid is a water machine, so he can pitch it for Fortress, or he can use it as a water for Absolute Zero. And what else is in Victor's deck? He also main decks Cyber Dragon, so he can send Cyber Dragon with Prisma, so that he can banish it for Cyber Eltonin. For those of you guys who don't know, Cyber Eltonin, you banish all Light Machine monsters on the field or in the graveyard to summon it, and then it sends all face-up monsters on the field to the graveyard. It's a pretty interesting deck that Victor's. Both these guys' decks are. These two actually usually play the spicy decks. Here, Victor pops the Starlight Road, chooses to use Strato's second effect. And yeah, so here you're going to see Victor's going to send the Cyber Dragon. And luckily, there's a few Machina players at my local, so if Victor happens to play one of them, he has like easy access to the Cyber Dragon. Alright, so let's see. He attacks the Tomato with Stratos. So this is round one, so Victor doesn't know what Steven's playing. I've told people attacking the face downs against zombies is tricky, because a lot of times you hit their tomatoes or their pyramid turtles, so you're just letting them get the cards they need. It's like if you're playing against X-Sabers, if you guys may remember. When you play against X-Sabers, by attacking their Emerald Blaze, you're just letting them get to Dark Soul. You're fueling their graveyard for E-Call. So I think it's kind of the same thing with zombies. But sometimes against zombies, you do want to attack over the Goblin Zombie. Anyway, Victor does. So Steven searches Zombie Master. So let's go over these two guys' records in the finals. Victor's been in the finals once, but he got second, whereas Bronder's been in the finals like 5 times. He's won 3 of the 5. So at the end of the videos, you guys may see all those numbers in the background. That's like the top players with the most final appearances on the channel. Okay, now let's get to the duel. Steven's normal summons Zombie Master, pitches Mizuki, and Victor chains Regeki Break. So that Zombie Master's effect will not go off. I don't know why it works like that. It doesn't matter whether you call priority or not, because like Zombie Master just sucks in that regard. That's why a lot of people don't even bother calling priority with Zombie Master. Anyway, Steven Mizuki's the Zombie Master, and then pitches Plague to bring back the Plague. So he's got Airbellum and Instant Fusion in his hand. Some of you guys may remember Steven. He's, like I said, he's always playing either a spicy deck or spicy cards in his deck. Like I remember in a previous tournament, he was playing main decking Iron Wall in his Blackwing deck. And some of you guys may remember the Alien deck. That was Steven who was playing it. But he might be a little bit rusty. He took like almost 2 months off from Edison. But glad to have these two. But also Victor doesn't play as much as he used to, but they occasionally show up. Glad to have you guys. Alright, so he instant fusions. He's going to make he brings out Musician King, so this allows him to make Arcanite Magician. Arcanite's such a good card. Alright, so here Victor's going to take 700. Yeah, 700, and he's left with an Airbellum. So, but I think like Victor can easily deal with this too. Like I said, he's playing Miracle Fusion and Machina Fortress. I might try this deck for fun, like maybe on Dueling Book. Victor's deck looks pretty interesting. Oh no, he has Cyber Elton, and that's another card that deals, and it's already in his hand. So yeah, Victor's deck can easily wipe this field. He's got 2 spells in hand. One of them is Miracle Fusion. Oh wow, yeah. He's got Cyber Elton, Miracle Fusion, and what's the other spell he has? Oh, Victor's hand's insane. Future Fusion, Miracle Fusion, and Cyber Elton. So there's the Submarine Roid and the Prisma. Let's see what else. So what does he do? He's probably going to get the Eltonin. Yeah, you do the Eltonin first. That's my guess. Wipe the field right now. Yeah. This card I'm not a fan. Like I like this deck, but I don't know if I'd play this one. I like the fortresses. I like the everything else, but I guess he plays the Elton in for fortress just to have a one card discard outlet to bring back fortress. So maybe one Elton in is not bad. I had the same issue. Some of you guys may remember my friend Ryan. He would always play the Machina Frog deck. I actually played it once myself in a tournament, and that was one card that I didn't like, was the Elton in, but everything else was solid. Anyway, let's get back to the duel. So here comes Miracle Fusion from Victor. Banishes Prisma and Submarine Roy for Ab-Zero. Attacks attacks Bronder for 900. 73. Did I mess up life points? No, he took 73, 65. Alright, let me fix the life points. I think I messed it up. I'm gonna go off of what they have. So 73. And Steven drops the gore. So Victor has life points at 73, 4,000, but I think he forgot to take off 1,000 for instant fusion. So I'm just gonna go based on what they have, even though it's wrong. So here, Victor tributes the Ab-Zero that was future fusioned, and then he banishes the future fusion. And I believe the reason he did this. No, did Victor draw Gores? I think Victor drew Gores. So he's trying to make his Gores live, because otherwise, you probably just banish the Gores, right? Or maybe he's setting up in case he draws Gores later. It's possible. Okay, here comes Book of Life from Stephen. So he gets rid of Ocean to bring back who? Looks like he's going to go for Goblin. He's still got a Plague Spreader in the graveyard, so he has one play, depending on what the last card is. Yeah, 73 4K. Alright, so here comes Caius. What do you target here? The Ab-Zero? So he could like target Ab-Zero, search Spear Reaper, and stall. I think that. Okay. So a 4,063. Yeah, so Steven's supposed to be at 3,000. I'm just gonna keep bringing that up because it's funny when people mess up life points, because it's usually myself who messes up the life points. But in this scenario, it was both players forgot to take off his, and I think one of the reasons is because Steven is not keeping track of his own life points. Because had Steven been doing his life points, he probably would have remembered to take off for instant fusion. Okay, so here, Steven's gonna gain the 25 thanks to Thought Ruler's effect, but then it will get destroyed after. So that's what they're arguing about right there. Yeah. So 65, 63. Victor summons Gear Frame. So what did Steven search? Steven searched Spirit Reaper. So can Victor do 6,500 damage? He's probably going to try to do as much as possible before Steven stalls him with the Reaper. So here he just takes 18. So we're at 47, 63. One back row from Victor. And yeah, we know Steven's going to set the Reaper here. Stall. Some decks can't deal with Reaper, man. That's what I noticed. Depends on which deck you're playing. Machina is actually a deck that really can't deal with Reaper. I remember one time I was playing the Trap. I was playing against like some Dragon decks. Not the Dragon Turbo deck, but just other decks. And my friend Ryan was like laughing because like some Dragon decks can't deal with a Duplock. They have like no outs in their deck. They'd have to like torrential themselves to deal with like a Reaper or a Duplock. Okay, so let's see. We got two. So what's Victor gonna do? We know the. Okay, so he chooses to get rid of the Reaper, put the Reaper on top, and then attacks. Raikou, which is a card that I think Steven just placed for Rescue Cat. That was really bad for Steven. So I'm pretty sure Raikou's mandatory to mill because I think if he had the choice, he probably wouldn't have milled because he needs that Reaper to help him draw. Eventually, he would have drew into that Dark Arm, but that Wing Blast might have saved. Yeah, might have saved Steven. Not Steven, sorry, Victor. No, not save him, but I guess it just ended the game quicker because the Reaper. I'm not sure. Victor, it doesn't look like he can deal with a Spirit Reaper right now. Okay, so right here is 63. How did he get to? 6311? Yeah. So Steven's supposed to be at 100. But Victor's over here letting people have free instant fusions. Like I said, I'm almost positive that Steven, if Steven was keeping track of his own life points, he would have definitely caught that instant fusion. All right, so what else? 6311, summon Plague, attack Mole, and then attack for 400. Yeah, this would have been game had they got the instant fusion right. What does Steven have? Summon Turtle. Mind Control the Plague. Oh, wow. Now Steven's fighting back. So he chooses to Synchro. I thought he was going to ram the Turtle. Oh, but he's at 700. And Mirror Force, and that's game. Okay, so the life points didn't matter. So Victor wins game 1. So Steven will be going first game 2. Hopefully. I actually played my friend Donnell the other day, and for some reason, he let me go first. He was trying to pre-play me. Because he thought I was going to side deck cards to go second, and he let me go first. No one has ever done that to me in Edison. That's like more of advanced Yu-Gi-Oh! Or once they changed the rule where you draw 5, I'd never had anyone make me go first in Edison, and Donnell did it to me the other day. Unfortunately, it wasn't on camera. Anyway, let's get to so game 2. Steven sets a monster, and then Victor summons Prisma, sends Ocean. Steven searches Zombie Master. What I like about these two, they usually play on the same mat. Victor usually plays on that mat, and Steven has that really interesting mat, the Goat mat, with like all the best Goat cards, I think. Like Nobleman a Crossout, Parshath, Sangan, Goats, and Sinister Serpent. So anyway, Steven's Reaper gets crowed. Victor chained DD Crow to Zombie Master's effect. Because that Reaper would have got a card out of Victor's hand. Okay, so it's looking good for Victor because Gear Frame's gonna crash into the Zombie Master if Steven doesn't have anything to stop the attack. And I saw Steven's hand. It's like Sangan, Return, which Return is just such a powerful card. Heck, I've been thinking about playing it in like a Miracle Fusion deck. That card is so good. Oh, is Victor not gonna attack? Okay, yeah, you. Let's see. Does Steven let it go through? So what's in his hand? Okay, so Steven's hand's like Raikou, Return, and I think Sangan. Oh, Steven moving his spell and traps. You're not supposed to do that. We saw my other friend Javier kept doing that. I'm not gonna say I never do it, but it's just. I'm just trying to prepare you guys because at a big tournament, people will find any way to steal free games from you. Trust me. That's why they see you move your spawn trap, it's going to be like, Judge! And then you'll get either A, they'll give you a warning depending on the judge, or they'll give you a game loss for that. It's annoying. Alright, so now Steven's got 2 face downs. So, Victor normal summon Stratos. Okay. So I want to talk about this here. So you can see Victor's thinking on the search. My guess is, and he's looking at that back row. Here, he's giving away that he has Torrential. That's why he's thinking about the summon of Stratos. It's the only thing that he would think about. I think he wants to chain Torrential, and he keeps looking at that specific face down. And he chooses not to activate it. And honestly, I would activate it against zombies, especially game 1. You saw Raikou in his deck. 100% I would probably torrential there. The only thing you're afraid of is like if he has Goblin Zombie, but it might be worth the risk. Probably I would assume one of those is Goblin, so maybe that's what Victor was debating on. I can see why. Because I don't think Steven would set like two turtles. He would set maybe like a Goblin Zombie, a Sangan. And Steven searches that ugly cat. I like the old school cat, like the one behind me right here. Alright, Victor passes. So let's see what Steven does. I don't think either one of them taking any damage. See, right away, Steven hit the torrential. Steven knew it was there. He didn't even roll a dice or anything. He right away hit the torrential. Yeah, that was the Victor gave away too much information there, which like a lot of players are gonna pick up on that when you do something like that, and Steven clearly did there. All right, so Dark Arm, Cat. This is sick, man. Oh god, this game looks like it's over. Unless if Victor does not have Gores, even if he has Gores, it's still this is bad for Victor. Like you better have Gores, or he's gonna take 2 cards out of your hand. Okay, so luckily Victor does have the Gores, so that saves him a card. But you're still gonna lose the Gores anyway, because Dark Arm's gonna pop it. So technically you lost 2 cards. But at least you save some life points there. So Dark Arm pops the Gores. And Steven makes Android. And he's probably going to make Stardust. Stardust to maybe protect his Dark Arm. Okay, so he's got 3 back rows. So he dropped the Stardust in defense mode, which is interesting. Because obviously Victor has like 2 ways to deal with this field. He has Fortress and Ab-Zero. So both Fortress and Ab-Zero can crash your starters. It's just interesting he brought it out in defense mode. Okay, so Prisma. He reveals... I forgot that card. I don't even know that fusion monster. Donnell was making fun of me last video because I didn't know what it was. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't watch Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. At least I didn't watch all of it. I only watched like the first season, I think. Alright, so he sent Submarine Roid. Pitches Force to bring back Fortress. Oh, that's why he did it. I think this is why Steven did it. Because he didn't want him to ram into the Stardust. So he's basically saying if you're gonna have to ram into my Dark Arm and then pop my Dark Arm itself. So maybe Steven doesn't have anything to stop him like a summon, or he's trying to bait him into attacking. It's possible. Here comes Miracle, so... Oh, God. Victor gets blown out by Mirror Force here if Steven has it. Maybe Steven is trying to get him. I remember one time I was playing against GB's Julio. He was on it was on camera. He baited me into attacking him into a Mirror Force. I thought he set Wabaku because he brought out Sekitor. And I was like, this guy... In my head, I was thinking he's trying to Wabaku me, and then he got me with the Mirror Force. And he tried to get me with that same move again. I'm like, you got me one time, but you're not going to get me the second time with it. And yeah, this is a blowout for Victor. Yeah, he scooped right away. He didn't want to fight anymore. And I don't blame him. That Mirror Force was a blowout. Okay. So, game 3. If only Victor... What did the torrential have matter? Well, he would have had the torrential for Dark Arm. Maybe Steven hits the D prison instead. Anyway, game 3, Victor sends Ocean with Prisma, and here comes Instant Fusion by Steven. So he's going for a 7. Oh, Urbellum. Does he have Book of Life? If he has Book of Life and Urbellum, oh, luckily for Victor, he doesn't have Book of Life. That is what? 500. Okay, that's... So luckily I'm keeping track of life points. Victor is keeping track of life points as well, and he did not take off life points for Instant Fusion for the second time in this duel. All right, so Steven gets Mirror Force. Oh, that saved him. Okay, that's interesting. So Victor's playing Raiko as well. And now Gear Frame. All right. Victor can get Force here. He's probably going to get Force and just swing for like 4,500 damage. So I'm following their calculator, but Steven's supposed to be at 7,000. And if I was in Victor's shoes and Steven was at the right life points, I would just hit him for 45. So I think here Victor's debating on hitting him with the Fortress. Yeah, because he has not taken the life points off for the Fortress yet. So you can tell he kind of hesitated there. But he does hit him. So now Steven's at 35. Ooh, that Cyber Dragon might have been a blowout. So Steven summons Tomato, tops for Plague. Yeah, Plague gets banished. Did he what's the I guess we'll find out what the Cyber Dragon is at. Did he equip the Fortress or did he leave it up? Wait, what happened? Why'd they go back? That's weird. Okay, so it looks like the Cyber Dragon is at 3,000. So Victor took 18. 18, 14 is 32. Wait, what happened? I don't know what happened with the life points. They completely messed up the life points here. So I'm just gonna go with by what they have, but I'm pretty sure they messed up. They messed up the life points bad this game. Okay, so Victor brings out Fortress, Miracle Fusion. So I'm just gonna go by what they have. 29. I don't know how they got to 29, 21. Okay, so I'm guessing Victor's at 29. So this is what Victor has on his phone. So I'm going to go by what he has. 529. I don't know how he got to this life, but that's what they have. And this is an intimidating field. Fortress, Ab-Zero with a back row? Like, how the heck does Steven get out of this? Catastrophe's a start. That's a start. You can, if Victor has nothing, you could just wipe. You can get rid of the Fortress, and then Victor's gonna have to deal with Catastrophe with Ab-Zero. But now Steven is in Caius range. At least he searches Mole. This is why I recommend both players keep track of life, because this, I don't know what happened with those life points, but what I had was way different. Oh, Regeki break, the Catastor, bounce, but you're at 500 and you set one back row, and then he prisons the Fortress. Some Mizuki. All right, 12 to 500. Cyber Dragon. No, he's at 100. So is it 1,000 to 12? Yeah. And he's got Mizuki, and he's got Book of Life as well. What's he gonna go for? So he chooses Reaper of the Nightmare. Why didn't he contact? So he deprisons the Cyber Dragon. What the heck? I think this thing's 700. Oh, and then he gets rid of the Cyber Dragon. And I think Victor just drew DD Crow. And Victor scoops. So that was a weird game. I had the life points way different than they did. Again, I think both players should keep track of life points there. So congrats to Steven. I thought Victor was in a commanding position, but Steven somehow fought back and won that game. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that duel, and we'll be back soon for round 2. Bye, guys.